Hello and Happy New Year! If you're new here, my name is Sophia and welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to be setting up my reading journal in this blue Archer and Olive dot grid notebook that was gifted to me by a friend. And without further ado, let's get into the video. This is my first time using a reading journal, and the reason I decided to start using one is because I have a tendency to read really quickly but not retain a lot of detail about each book. I also wanted to take a lot more of the thoughts in my head and put them down on paper so my head isn't too crowded. Next to my index page, I'm writing a quote out from my final book of 2022, Lovely War by Julie Berry, which was an amazing book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And the quote here says, "If music stops and art ceases and beauty fades, what have we then?" And the first spread is my 2023 reading challenge. Last year in 2022, my goal was 30 books, and I actually ended up reading 38. So this year, I'm making my goal 35, but I have enough spaces here for 52. The next page of that is my page count tracker for the year, which is similar to my total book count, but slightly different. It's just the pages overall that I've read. Last year, I read a little over 14,000 pages, and so here I have enough space for a little over 18,000 pages. The next 2 pages are about books I want and need to read. The one I'm outlining now is a space for me to make a list of books I own and need to read. I have a tendency to hold on to books for a long time and not read them, so I want to keep track of the books I've had for a really long time and prioritize them this year. The other page on the spread is 10 books I really want to read in 2023. I've seen some people do 23 books for 2023, but I didn't want to put that much pressure on myself. So here are some books I didn't get to last year or new books that are coming out this year. And right now I only have 8 books. So if there's more books I think of that I want to read this year, I can add them. The books I have so far are Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, and Babel by R.F. Kuang. And some of these stars look really bad, so just ignore those. They'll look fine once they're filled in. Almost through all the spreads. The next 2 pages are my release tracker. Right now I only have Hellbent on there, but in theory I'll have lots of books to look forward to in the new year. If you have any books you're excited to come out this year, let me know. The next page is a place for me to keep track of books I want to buy. A lot of times I read a book from the library or the ebook or the audio version, and I want to get a hard copy for my shelves. So this is where I can write those down. And we're on the last page of the spread. This is an example layout of what I want each book entry to look like. It'll have the title, author, and the book cover. Then there's space for me to write 3 words that describe the book's stats on the books, like star rating, number of pages, genre. There's also space for thoughts and quotes. I'm hoping this will help me remember more of the books that I read this year. I'm just doing a little cover page for all of my books in January. And here we are with the final flip through. That brings us to the end of the journal setup. I will be filling it out as I read books throughout the year, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see what books I read this year. Thank you for joining me in the studio, and I will see you in the next one.